Alrighty, we're back on Friday. You guys loved it so much that I'm gonna do it again. Hello, VR Angel Lori. What is up, my girl? And Bernadette. I love seeing you guys here waiting. This is gonna be another quick one, so it's challenging for me. I'm gonna go as just one card pull today, looking at the energy, challenge, and possible outcome of the weekend. So today it is Aries' birthday now. Happy birthday to my Aries. And Mercury will be going direct at 333. So we have 33 minutes. Mercury will go direct or station direct. Eastern time at 333. So that is good news, right? Love it when Mercury goes straight, goes forward. All right, so happy birthday to my Aries. We're going to start Aries off at 111. I'm going to do 111, right? It's your birthday. That's a good one. 111. Hello, Gigi. Don't forget I'm doing super chats afterwards. Anybody interested? Aries, happy birthday. Let's do your one card pull for the weekend for Aries. You have the Wheel of Fortune. All right, so the energy around you is karma, actions, and consequences. So really paying attention to what you're doing and what you're expecting as well. There could be a sudden situation this weekend that moves you forward. This card always brings unexpected turn of events, something coming back around, but it's a pattern, right? So something that's been constantly going around in circles, this is a chance to correct it, course correct, you know what I mean? So this can be a past person coming into your life. This could be an argument with somebody you're having. This could be good too. This could be an opportunity coming around for you that you said no to before, but now you're like, you know what? I'm going to try something different. So definitely something that is moving you forward, or you have a chance to move forward. Luck is on your side this weekend, right? But the part of that is the Wheel of Fortune says if you keep repeating the same pattern, doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results. So if there's been an on again, off again, I'm just using this as an example, and you guys do the same thing, say the same thing, same argument, same whatever, or then the pattern repeats by the end of the weekend. So what I see for you is things are actually moving for you. This could be a good time for you, new things happening for you. And just, also with the Wheel of Fortune, it is saying just pay attention to your actions, because karma is actions and consequences. All right. So, just pay attention to certain actions. Ask yourself if this is true with your alignment, if this is what you would do if you weren't upset, or is this really you reacting to a situation? All right. So something coming back around, good fortune on your side. Happy birthday. Taurus, let's see. Taurus is going to get 333. So Taurus kind of the lucky one. 3333. Thank you. Romy, wrong live. All right. Taurus, 333. Right? Mercury goes direct today, 333. So it's going to be really good. Maybe sometime today, within 30 minutes, maybe something amazing is going to happen for my Tauruses, right? For all of us. All right, Taurus, one card for you today. Let's see what the energy is, your possible challenge and possible outcome of the weekend. All right, you have the Four of Swords. So you got a good energy here. So the energy is for you, it's time to rest or take a vacation, right? So Taurus is like, all right, I'm good with that. Let's check out for a bit. All right. But the challenge for you could be allowing more time before you make a decision, or if you're in separation with somebody, or you're wanting answers right now. The Four of Swords is saying you got to give something a little bit more time. This weekend could be, if you were to try to push at something, or, break silence with somebody too soon, there is a possibility that could backfire. Somebody's just not ready to make a decision about something. So I am seeing for you, because this is a good weekend just to maybe practice not worrying about the outcome of a situation. You know, if you're in separation with somebody, this is probably the most important weekend where somebody's having an epiphany. You know, somebody's had enough time to miss you. Somebody's had enough time to think about, you know, but if you want it really too bad or push it too fast, it's going to remind a person why they wanted space in the first place. So just think about that. You know, if somebody says they need space, you know, honor it. And same thing for you. If you need space or you need to take a break, this is going to be a good weekend for you to do some sort of recovering or recouping. So if you want to go to the beach this weekend, it'd be a great weekend maybe to get out there. So you have a nice silent energy. So it does tell me, those of you, there is potential that things could still be quiet between you and another person that's on your mind, but don't panic, okay? Gemini, let's see, Gemini's energy at 5-5. Oh, these are good. 5-5-5. I'm not even trying too hard. All right. They are amazing. All right. Gemini, let's see the energy of the week. I'm pulling one card. Energy challenge, possible outcome this weekend. Let's see, Gemini. All right, you have Justice card coming in for you. All right, so fair decisions, clarity, not feeling so confused anymore. Maybe somebody, you know, knowing they got to make something right with you. But this is also a reminder, the Justice card is showing up for you. So this is you doing what you know is right, always standing in your integrity. You know what I mean? Don't go against, if something is like a no, I don't want to go here because it doesn't feel right, or I know it's not right, or I shouldn't say this because I know it's not right. Don't do it, right? The Justice card to me is like consequences, right? There's going to be some major consequences, but also it's, you know, it's standing up for what you know is right too. So defending yourself too, and always staying true to your own beliefs about a situation, right? And if you need to, you know, make something clear, it needs to be fair. You know, you can't bend boundaries with other people. All right. And it works both ways. So you know what is right, do what is right. There could be some sort of justice this weekend, which could be by the end of the weekend having some sort of closure. You know, somebody actually coming clean about something, somebody realizing maybe they did do something that was kind of not fair. All right. But also your challenge could be needing somebody to constantly justify something, or you trying to justify certain actions you did. And this is where mom comes out, you know, hey, I got to do it. But, you know, sometimes you can figure out a way to justify our actions, but the consequences are the consequences. And sometimes the law is just not fair. So no, it's karma weekend. It seems like you've got to pay attention to how we're reacting to situations, because we can't complain with the outcome if we didn't think straight before we made the choice, right? So really good energy for you. And the Justice card says this could be a good weekend too, where justice is served. Maybe you don't even have to do anything, but you're being seen, you're being heard. And because you stood in your knowing, that's why, you know, you have some good karma coming back around, okay? So Libra energy showing up for you. I'm seeing balance, harmony, and closure, high possibility. Big thumbs up from a Gemini. All right, let's see Cancer. Let's see, we're going to do Cancer at 9. All right, Cancer. Am I doing good with time, guys? All right, Cancer. One card pull for the weekend. So I'm looking at energy challenge and possible outcome. So far, we're seeing some, you know, the Whale came out and Justice came out. So, you know, this is tables turning type of energy, turning point energy, karmic energy, very karmic energy. All right, so what goes around comes around type of energy. All right, so let's see what's going on here for you. Six of Pentacles. I like that. I like that. With everything I just said, if you've been given and giving, Cancer, and you've just been, you know, generosity after generosity, and, you know, really with no intent to really receive, it's just your good nature. This is going to be a weekend where the universe is giving you back, right? Come on, paying it forward. You've been paying it forward. Now it's paying back. And sometimes we don't know when or how that's going to show up. So this could bring some surprises. You know, you may have given to somebody before. You may have been a good friend. You may have given money before, charity, whatever. But something that you're, you know, because all of us, we can be the givers of the world, but there's still a part there that feels like, you know, you want to be seen and you want some return too, you know. And that's what I'm seeing here, a balance coming in. Now, the challenge can be the opposite of the Six of Pentacles, all right? So the challenge for you is that you're overgiven, or you keep trying to give more, thinking that you're going to get back more. And that is the complete opposite. If you're given out of desperation, or you're given out of pattern, because a lot of us think the more we give, the safer we'll be in a relationship, that is also going to come back in karma. And it's like somebody else, you may think they owe you, or because you're given so much that they need to return the favor. But that can be a hard lesson to learn, that some people just take, and you're not going to get back in return. So watching where you're over giving your energy this weekend, and giving more to something, or even giving more to a problem you may have. You know, if you keep feeding that problem and thinking the more you do, the more you give, the better it's going to be, you're actually pushing it away and the problem's getting worse, right? So sometimes less is more. So the outcome for you, though, this weekend looks really good. This card used to be my universal piñata. It feels like wherever you've been given generously, the universe is going to give back, bring life into balance for you. And if some of you have been stressing about money too, this is a chance this weekend to practice faith and trust, and knowing that the universe will provide. And there could be some signs this weekend that you're getting that financial help that you're looking for. All right, so that's what I have from my Cancers. All right, Leo. Let's see. Leo at, I can't see the clock. 13. I'm going really quick today. This is like some really quick. I'm trying to keep to the rules here, guys. I like to break them. All right. Leo time. Leo. Ooh. So Leo, 2 cards wanted to come out for you. All right. 2 cards just flew out. I know it's a 1 card, so you must be the lucky one today. So the Knight of Earth and the 9 of Fire. I mean, to me, this can be work overload. It can be just you're right there at the edge. Don't give up, and especially if you've been working really hard on yourself, a project, work, whatever, you know. And that Knight of Pentacles is saying, you know, just grounding yourself this weekend, that your persistence will pay off. All right. Now, you may be feeling like you're up against some setbacks right now. You may be feeling under the gun, under the weather, pressure, feeling like something's been really a struggle for you, especially in a love relationship. Well, this weekend, it still shows me here that, you know, you're still moving forward here, but things could feel a little bit tough this weekend. So maybe it's about not persisting so much this weekend. Maybe it is about taking a step back or slowing down, especially if you're exhausting yourself, or you feel like the relationship, the problem, the connection, whatever's going on, whatever you're doing is exhausted, you know. And it's like, I just feel like I feel like, Leo, you can't work any harder right now. All right. So this isn't about you working harder. It's about working smarter this weekend. It's telling me not to give up on what it is you're pursuing. All right, what it is you're pursuing. Yeah, but sometimes things just, we think if we push harder we're going to get there faster. That is not true right now. All right, you're pushing too hard and it's wearing you out, and when you need your energy you're not going to have it. Right, so this is telling me that there could be a setback. You could be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The challenge for you is you're going to burn yourself out, or you may burn out people in your life. All right. So when I look at the challenge position, I have to look at both sides. So if you're stressed and tired and burnt out and feeling exhausted, guess what's going to happen to the person or the people that you're connecting to? They're going to pick up on that, or they're going to feel it, the wrath of it, or it's going to bleed into your communication with that person. And then it may exhaust them. So, this is going to be a weekend where you got to believe in yourself, believe in the situation that you're after. And if it's truly, the Knight of Pentacles tells me you're working towards something with somebody, but maybe you feel like somebody's not putting in the work or procrastinating. But again, what I just said with Cancer's reading, you working harder to make something work is not going to make it work. It's just going to push them to slow down. All right. That is a theory that you've got to sit with. You think working harder is going to get you what you want. It is not true. All right. Sometimes the hardest work is not doing anything at all and letting somebody else show up for you. All right. That's work too. Patience is work. You want to get what you deserve. You've got to show what you're not willing to do in order to have somebody else show up for you. But if you keep overgiving and doing all the work, somebody else doesn't have to do it. Right? And then it's like you're going against the grain here. So I am seeing stay persistent, definitely honor your commitments, right? Don't give up. The 9 of Wands, you're almost there, but you may be pushing too hard, all right, on a situation. So the outcome here can show movement. It definitely, the Knight of Pentacles says that you may see some movement this weekend. You may get messages this weekend with the Knight of Pentacles, but it's more practical messages, maybe not emotional, maybe not the fast movement that you're looking for, but it's definitely movement. All right, let's see Virgo. 1717. I would say this weekend would be a good weekend just to go have fun and take your mind off everything. That's my thing all the time. We're getting into nice weather again. All right, one card, Virgo. All right. You've got the Knight of Pentacles. Wait a minute, I'm going to shuffle these again, too. I didn't shuffle them enough. You got the Knight of Pentacles, too. It was almost the same as Leo, and I want to get you your own card. So let's do 1818. You got the Knight of Pentacles the first time, but I want to, that's your energy. All right, let's see, Virgo. All right, Virgo. All right, renewal, judgment. All right, Archangel Jeremiah. You got the angel on this one. You got the Judgment card. All right, and the 5 of Cups underneath. So maybe things haven't turned out the way you wanted, and maybe you're constantly reviewing what just happened. This weekend could be a time to move in a new direction with the Judgment card, making a decision not to live in the past, making a decision to kind of take a look at how far you've come to. And, maybe some of you are spending too much time paying attention or reviewing or critiquing the past, right? We can do that with the judgment. We can be our own worst critic. We can review, maybe I should have said this, or, why did I do that? Why didn't I do that? Why did I let this happen again? You can be super hyper judgmental towards yourself. And this weekend is telling you to, review the situation. Take a look at where you may have gone wrong or you think you have, but don't ponder on it and beat yourself up and make yourself feel guilty about it or shame yourself over something. That's not what this energy is about. There is a second chance here, a new wind coming in, right? There's a chance to make a decision, make an important decision this weekend. All right, you're stepping out of an old version of yourself and you're moving into a new version of yourself. Quit playing that person that you're not anymore. The Judgment card, you're awakened to it. I can't say that enough. If you already know before you're walking into a situation what you're going to get, you already know. So you got to make a decision not to do it again. That's it. It's not going to be any different, and you know it, right? It'll change when you move forward and move in a different direction and take a step away from whatever's going on in your life, right? And that's when you start to come into alignment with your truth and you can reevaluate where you're at right now. But if you're still trying to, fix something from the past and you haven't changed at all, you haven't done anything at all, and you're in this energy, right? And you're going to get the same result. So it looks like an important decision this weekend, and your challenge is going to be, constantly reviewing the past, wondering what you could have done different or overanalyze it. And you're being asked to, assess the facts, but then move forward and decide what you're not going to do again, and don't do it. It's as clear as that. This weekend, you may be up against somebody coming around, and you may have to make a very important decision whether or not to engage with the situation that is against your better judgment, because it's a karma weekend. I'm already feeling it throughout this whole thing. It's like the Wheel of Fortune and, justice energy. It's like a chance to really stand in your knowing and change your destiny. Change your situation. And when you can change the way your perspective of it and change this karma, you will change the results and the outcome of the situation that you're trying so bad to have, right? So it is saying it's time to move in a new direction, especially if you're looking for a fresh start with somebody. If you keep staying in the same energy and trying to get somebody to come back in this energy, you're going to get the same results. All right. So this weekend, possible outcome could be a second chance with somebody. There may be somebody coming in. That doesn't mean that things are going to, again, the Wheel of Fortune feels like there's a chance to do something over, redo something, break a pattern this weekend, and make a huge decision. All right. Libra. 23. I'm going to get a good shuffle here. 23. All right. Hello, Mojo. All right. Let's see. Libra. One card pull for the weekend. The energy around the weekend, the challenge, and the possible outcome. 3 of Pentacles. All right, Libra, you looking good here. All right, so the energy around you this weekend is friendship, co-workers, things working out, playing in a team. Maybe some of you are in a team. I don't know. Maybe you're going someplace with people that you feel comfortable around. It's working with others, all right, and things working out. So a helping hand, giving a helping hand, if you're a support system for somebody else. But this is also asking for help when you need it. This can tell me it can be, somebody wanted to put the work in, make something work with you, taking one step at a time, making it work. For some of you, it's like, stepping up at work, maybe work's all you're doing this weekend. But to me, it's a good energy because it says things are just working out this weekend. They're just working out. And, the Three of Pentacles is all we can do is keep showing up every day and just keep making things happen, right? It's a very good energy, and it can be a reconciliation for energy for some of you, but we gotta be on the same page type of energy. Let's really work things out and talk about things and make some plans for the future. But there's a no rush energy here too. It's very grounded, making practical plans for the future. Now, the challenge, Libra, with the Three of Pentacles is somebody's, doing all the work, and there's, not wanting to be a team player, right? If it doesn't feel, it feels like, I'm just not getting the effort that I'm wanting, or I'm not getting the understanding or the support that I want, right? It just feels like, I'm the only one here following the rules or putting in the work, right? So that can be a challenge for some of you. And it can feel like you're not being noticed for what you do, what you have done or what you've been trying to accomplish, right? So you can be undermined in this kind of energy too, where you feel like you're not being seen for what you really truly have given or do. And that can, be a challenge for you. And you may want to pull your energy away from that. Or some of you may feel the need to give more. So be careful with that, because this weekend could be, somebody's not putting in enough effort for you, and then you decide to put in more, and that's where the relationship becomes imbalanced, right? So that's going to be your challenge. Where do you want to put your energy this week? Who's really supporting you and who's not supporting you, right? Who's not really listening to you or hearing you out, your needs, right? That's my pentacles are always about needs and resources and understanding and support, right? So now I'm seeing the possible outcome, though, is things coming together for you and really working things out. So this could be a weekend too where you can test the field, see who really is there for you. Who are you connecting with? Who do you feel when you're around them or you're connected to them? Who makes you feel like you can open up and you can feel like you can breathe, versus who makes you feel very restricted? Who makes you feel shameful? Who makes you feel like you're doing something wrong? Because support systems don't do that, and so it could be really clear who's really who understands your value and who's really putting forth the work and where you should be putting your time this weekend, right? So this could be a very good weekend for you. And also being around friends. It could be just finding some friends to be around, right? All right, earthy energy for you. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. All right, my Scorpios, 27. It's been a very long week, but at the same time, it feels like it's gone by so fast. Like the weeks are just going by. See you later, Terry. All right, Scorpio, we're looking at your weekend. I really want to get a good shuffle because give me a second. Scorpio, what's the one card for Scorpio this weekend? What does Scorpio need to know to make it through this weekend? All right. I always check the bottom too. 5 of Fire. All right. So you have a very strong fire energy. I know this is Leo energy. It's the sun energy too, but it's got Mars written all over it, right? So I believe Mars rules it, but it's Leo energy. And I'm seeing here that there could be some conflict this weekend. So we'll start with the challenge, with this energy. You can get caught up in things that aren't important. So keep that in mind this weekend. There could be a lot of drama. You may get pulled into stuff. You got you know, you got to pick your battles here. Conflict with others, but also if you've been avoiding conflict, this could be a weekend where you just gotta challenge somebody. All right, you got to challenge yourself to confront a problem. Don't avoid a problem. And you know, but the five of wands says you confront something, and there's a strong chance that you could really level up and work something out with somebody. All right, but if you're competing with somebody, or you just feel like it's constant nag back and forth, and you're just feeling very challenged this weekend, that could be ego battle, a struggle this weekend, and it could be a lot of tension that creates you know, a circus that you might not want to be a part of. Okay, so be aware of that. Now you have a lot of fire energy this weekend, so finding ways to use that energy, you know, doing something, you know, this could be a good weekend to get stuff done, tackle, you know, use that energy wisely, right? But just be wary here that there could be tension. All right, that's one of the biggest things, challenges and tension with others. All right, and if you're feeling like, you know, you're constantly fixing things or needing to fix something, this is a weekend too where you can't fix everybody. You can't fix maybe your situation. Find another way to compromise this weekend. Maybe this weekend isn't about totally balling out, you know, and confronting and fighting with somebody, as opposed to kind of throwing the flag in and saying, we fought this enough, we don't need to fight, we don't need to force this. If you're in the five of wands energy and you are really forcing something and using all your Mars and your power to force something to happen, it's going to backfire. All right, the five of wands, somebody else is going to come back harder. Somebody else is going to slam that door shut, especially if there's an attitude or tempers going up against each other. All right, and it could be you slamming the door, walking out, you know, doing whatever you do, right? But on the flip side, the good news, the challenge could be an opportunity for you to figure out what's really bothering the other person, what's really happening to the other person. So there's another way to win this battle, right? Is by understanding the other person rather than focusing on just what you're mad about, what you're angry about, right? So this could be a very challenging weekend. I can go on and on and on and on, but there's very positive energy here. Five of Wands talks about getting, you know, you got to get through something to get to that victory, get to that finish line. So maybe something's supposed to happen this weekend where everything comes out. You know, we got to throw all our cards on the table. All right. So be careful of a lot of fire. Fire can be very passionate. It can be very competitive. You and another person could really be fighting for the same thing and you could get somewhere. But if you're not fighting for the same thing or not on the same sides, you really could create destruction this weekend too. All right. So that's what I have for my Scorpios. Put that to work, right? The Five of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. Maybe some of you need to do things on your own this weekend and go put that energy elsewhere. All right. It's very passionate energy. You can use it to create. You can use it to go work out. You can use it to, I don't know, have fun, but just don't use it to fight unless you are a boxer. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see. Sagittarius. 32, 32. I like it. All right, let's see. Sagittarius. One card for the energy of the weekend, the challenge you may be up against, and the possible outcome. You know, these are the type of readings that you come back after the weekend, you're like, wow, why didn't I listen? Right? I do the same thing. I'm like, man, I was just talking about this on Friday, on a Monday. I'm like, yeah, I don't listen to my own message sometimes, right? So let's see what's going on, Sagittarius. You have the Queen of Swords, all right? Sag, there could be a Queen of Swords coming into your life this weekend. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, strong Libra energy. This is very vocal energy, very chatty energy. talking about things, talking about the future, making important decisions about the future. But it's also seeing things clearly and seeing the humor in a situation too. So decide in this weekend if something is worth the argument. Do I have to call everything out? Sometimes my Queen of Swords can be Captain Call Out, judging a situation, constantly seeing, or needing to say what's right, needing to just, sometimes it's just, I see it, it, but maybe somebody else doesn't need to be told 24/7 what's wrong or what to do, right? So this can be that kind of energy, and you may overthink things too, Sag, with the Queen of Swords energy. And so this is saying, try to, not pick apart every little thing that it comes your way. Even if you see the truth in things, sometimes people aren't ready for the truth. Remember that. And so I'm on your side here. You're showing up as a Queen of Swords. She can see, she knows, right? But sometimes knowing, and then if somebody else is not ready to hear what you know, you're only going to trigger them into a defense mode, right? And put them on the defense. So if you're somebody that's calling out your person constantly, or telling them what they need to do or what they should do, or telling them, they're just going to pull away and feel attacked at times. But you're over here going, what do you mean? I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you what I want. And so that's what I'm getting for you. Now, this could be a good weekend too, to really talk to people, communicate wisely, have fun. Communication's big, so you could be getting that communication that you're waiting for. But the challenge with the Queen of Swords, and I love saying this just because I never say it, you could be bitchy. All right. You could be bitchy. All right. I never say that because I should be a bitch more often. I really do believe that. I believe if I would have been the bitch I should have been in times, I could have, instead of coulda, woulda, shoulda, I probably would have, And so this could be a weekend where that could come out. All right. And you may just be snappy. You may not care, give a shit. You may be cold. You may say things that could hurt others. All right. So this is a sharp tongue. And, I have a sharp tongue. That's probably why I never said anything, because I don't want to hurt people, and so that's what I'm getting for you this weekend, Sagittarius. This card is about finding justice and being able to compromise too as well, without compromising your values or your boundaries, right? But there is a chance to find some way to negotiate this weekend through communication. So your communication looks like it's going to be on point. So you are just being asked to, use it wisely and deliver it wisely, because not everybody's ready for the truth. All right. Let's see. Capricornio. My corn dogs. Let's see. I've never... my corn dogs. My Capricorn dogs. 37. Don't be a corn dog. Don't be a cornhole this weekend. No, I'm playing. I'm so fun. I didn't know that was a game for the longest time. And I was like, when I found out, I was like, why would they call it a cornhole? I mean, it was awful. And then I'm like, and then you throw a sack into a hole. I'm like, it just didn't. I'm a child. Bathroom humor still gets me. I still laugh at the shit emoticon or emoticon. It's like the funniest thing in the world. All right, let's see. Capricorn. I'm not going to start shit with a Capricorn. Remember, I told you, Wilson Fisk is a Capricorn. You wait the game out. You'll wait it out. You're like the stinger of a Scorpio. Wait for the right time to attack. And you guys have more patience. I don't know. The Star card. All right. So you have a beautiful energy this weekend. and this could be a good weekend for you. The energy is the Star card, which talks about things coming into alignment. But ultimately, with the Star card, you really, truly have to have faith. I mean, saying you believe and then actually believing is two different things. I believe this is going to happen, but I'm still checking and wanting, and I still feel like I'm in control. So I have to do it to make it happen. Your feelings are not in alignment with your belief. If you truly believed that something was yours or meant to be yours or was going to come in, you would believe and have faith that it's going to come in at the right time. So this energy can be that every now and then, right? I mean, but it also says you're in the spotlight, this is, you're being directed towards your north node, you're in alignment and things are happening for a reason. Now, if you just went through a tower moment, this could be where you're starting to see the light. You're starting to see why things happened. Things are starting to clear up. Now, the challenge with the Star card is everything can seem like a disappointment, especially if you lack faith. If, like I said, if you're over here going, I believe, I truly believe, but yet you're so disappointed and you're focused on the circumstances, this is how we create our own suffering, right? We lack faith. And so we start trying to direct everything, and then we get off course. So the universe is saying, I've got your back here. You're on course. Leave things alone the way it is. Let things unfold. If you start doing things because you want to control and you think you can do a better job than God, this card is saying, go for it. You're just going to go down another pathway that might lead to a dead end or the same result that you're trying not to get, right? So this is a very important card, right? It is saying that you're directed towards clearer, more happier times. Sometimes this card says to me on the weekend that, because I'm looking at the weekend, it says things may come out of nowhere and you may be surprised with instant manifestations. You might say you want something and then there it is, but they could be smaller things meant to show you that your things are working out for you. You are on the right path. It's just that your fear is driving the car. All right. So the outcome for you is the Star as well, too, which says coming into alignment. So something big and powerful may come into alignment this weekend with the Star card. All right. But we can also, with the Star, go against and not have faith and, not let, like I said, and make decisions that could kind of self-sabotage, right? So just be careful of that energy. You have Aquarius energy around you. I'm seeing you wish a blessing. This can be a blessing. The stars are in your favor right now. So things really working out for you, but it is asking you to really find faith, all right? What it really feels like. And if you don't know, ask for it. I spend a lot of time saying, please teach me faith. Please show me faith. Please guide me with faith, right? That's what I have for you. All right. Aqua. 42. Have fun. Thank you. Right. Aquarius. Hello, Leo babe. Psychedelic medic. I love it. Ooh, do you really do that? Are you one of those medical providers that do that? That's pretty cool. All right, Aquarius. Let's see. Ace of Water. That's awesome. All right. So this is the energy of this weekend is around love. Right. This is, love is, there's possibilities are endless. Could be new love, could be reconciliation. It could be a gift, somebody giving you a gift this weekend. It could be realizing you're in love, somebody realizing they're in love, potential new beginning. So new beginnings all the time. You know, it's a start over, fresh energy, especially if there's a base of love, you know, there's true love there. And even if it's not completely developed yet, you know, I know it takes time, but there's definitely more than just superficial here. It's like there's emotion here, right? So it says there's potential. All aces say it potential. So what we do with that potential, usually our own shit or somebody else's shit starts to get in the way. But if it's built on love, you know, enjoy the journey, right? So this could be a gift, a call, present, somebody telling you they love you. It could also be you finding ways to fill your own cup, you know. If you've been through a lot, give yourself some love, all right? Because that's the energy. Doesn't mean, you know, the more love you give yourself, you're fueling your energy, there's love around you. So you're going to attract it in more. So you have a great energy. Now the challenge could be the Ace of Cups, you know, not closing down your heart, or even better, obsessing or getting attached to unavailable people. That's a real thing. You know, if somebody's heart's closed off and you know it, or your heart's closed off and you're wanting to connect with somebody, or you're wanting somebody to really connect with you, that's where the work comes in, right? So if you lack trust, or you just feel like you're not being reciprocated, it feels unrequited, you got to check those kind of energies, right? Why are we attached to unavailable people? Or people that only want to be part-time, all right? And sometimes, in my experience, when we figure out the why or what we're avoiding when we do that, we may find out that that person was never detached or avoidant, but they just didn't like something that about the dynamic. Right? Because when you're seeking validation from somebody you think is avoidant or emotionally detached, you're going to bring out the side of you that repels them, the anxiousness. And so when that part is recognized, or you tend to it, you may start to see that your person was never not emotionally available. They just didn't want to be available to that kind of energy. So sit with that before you get mad at me. Sit with that, all right? And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But I am seeing possibility of love forming, and this could even be new love coming your way. All right, Aquarius, I love you. Let's see, Pisces. I did a damn good job today. Almost the same amount of time as last time, 46. Remember, I'm going live after this around 4:30. All right. All right, let's see, Pisces. All right, Pisces, you've passed the torch to Aries. So I hope you had a wonderful birthday season. I even changed my nail color. I had your nail color the entire time. Let's pull. Now we're getting ready for Easter. Let's see. One card pull for the weekend. All right, you have your energy. So you have the Hanged Man. Messages coming in, possibly that you least expect. These could be, it's an awakening card, an epiphany card, connecting or getting downloads type of energy. It's a silent kind of weekend. It could be you taking a pause, you taking a step back so you can see your situation more clearly. It's a temporary standstill. So this weekend, maybe something's shifting or adjusting, but you just can't define it yet. So it might be a little uncomfortable. The good news is you have no clue what's coming in. So even if somebody was being quiet to you, when you see them again, you know, you're going to be maybe surprised at what was going on, what they were doing, what they were thinking. It was completely different than what you were thinking. So this weekend, there could be some quietness, somebody, you know, sort of being silent, or maybe you feeling the need to be silent. But you may fear that somebody's letting go, and you're changing the dynamic of a relationship, and maybe somebody isn't happy with the way things were going, or you weren't happy with the way things were going. And we needed a pause for a minute so that we could recalibrate and figure out what we need to do to make it happen, right? So there could be this is a transition phase, you know, maybe something has come to an end, and it's time to breathe a little bit before you try to start something up again. So the challenge with you this weekend could be holding on tighter when you're meant to let go, and creating suffering that's unnecessary when the outcome could be in your favor. And so some of you might say, well, it doesn't matter then, you know, to suffer or not, if it's the outcome's going to be in my favor. And I'm going to say, not if you don't let go with the Hanged Man, because you could create from that place of disillusionment, you could create problems that never were meant to, that didn't have to be there, you know, afraid to let go of a situation, you know. And so you are being asked to not come out of, you know, so be yourself, right? If you feel like somebody's pulling you out of alignment, ask yourself, if you were to look at yourself in 5 months and look back at this day and see the way you're acting in your situation, would you cringe or go, ick? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? I know I do that all the time. I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, punching my bed, going, oh, how did I let that person get But this weekend is a chance for you to step into your future self and ask your future self what you should do in this moment, right? Because the way you react this weekend could either make something stay stuck, or actually something could actually transition and move, you know, as we move into the week. So I love you guys. That's what I got. And come pick you up, boo-boo. Yeah, well, you know, I'm afraid to even drive anywhere with my car. It's got no AC now. I got to get an AC in it. I was going to trade it, get an AC. Now I have to, in order to do that. So I just I waited too long. That's the overanalyzing person in me. And plus, so if I were, I probably wouldn't make it. It'd be too hot. We'll be sweating our asses off. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. And Romy, I know you put it here, so I'll put you over on the other side. Just put your name in. So, all right. I'll see you guys soon at 4. Thank you. Thank you, FG. Thank you, everybody.